Good evening and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. I'm Katie Looper, leading our news tonight. Today was the annual Golden Days Parade. However, this year Fairbanks welcomed a special guest relating to the history of Golden Days. Here's more in this report. Anxious parade goers lined the streets of downtown Fairbanks this morning. It was the pinnacle of Golden Days activities and also the biggest parade in Alaska with over 100 entries. The Golden Days Parade has become a tradition for several local families, and many look forward to coming each year.
Oh no, we come every year, every chance we get. My daughters, we have been bringing them since my youngest was born, and we never miss out. I look forward to the bagpipes because it gets my mom all teary-eyed because she loves the bagpipes, so I love watching it.
Even non-locals were able to enjoy the parade and get a glimpse of Fairbanks' history.
We were just downtown. We didn't even know about it, and we love a parade, and we thought we'd get a slice of Alaska this way.
Fairbanks was on our list of stops, and we just happened to be here this week.
This parade celebrates Fairbanks' gold rush history, starting with Felix Pedro, an Italian prospector who struck gold here in 1902. But what makes this year special from the others is the appearance of Felix Pedro's relative. Family descendant Adriano Pedroni has been aspiring to come to Alaska for 10 years now, and after traveling all the way from Italy, Pedroni and his translator Daniel Tomani have spent 12 days retracing the exact route Felix Pedro took to Alaska 112 years ago.
We were talking with Adriano about this, and he told me, well, it's exciting because my grandfather was here in the middle of nowhere trying to find something, and his feeling during these 12 days, he told me that he felt this adventure. I mean, so it's pretty exciting. It's exciting for me that I organized the trip, and it's exciting for him that is on his granddad footstep.
Un'esperienza incredibile.
Because
rimarrà sempre qui, ma insomma.
He's saying that it's an exciting experience, and this experience will remain in his heart for the rest of his life.
Fairbanks was excited to welcome Pedroni, relative of Felix Pedro, in the wrap-up of this great week-long celebration. This is Katie Looper reporting. Flint Hills Resources cannot sue the former owners of the North Pole refinery for damages caused by cellophane pollution. That's the ruling of Superior Court Judge Michael McConaughey. The judge said the deadline had passed for a suit to be filed in the case. Flint Hills claims that Williams Petroleum caused the groundwater pollution that contaminated North Pole's water. Last week, it was announced that Flint Hills, Williams, and the state would share the cost to explore a water system expansion in North Pole to areas with groundwater contamination. It's been 2 years since a Fairbanks woman was murdered in Arizona, and trial in the case has again been delayed. 23-year-old Crystal McMartin, a Lathrop High School graduate, moved to Scottsdale, Arizona about 2 months before she was found with stab wounds outside an apartment building. She died shortly after. Police reportedly followed a trail of blood where she was found to the apartment of 25-year-old Joseph Michael Matthews. He was arrested on charges of kidnapping and murder and could face a death penalty if convicted. The trial that was set for August 4th has now been continued until May of 2015. It's probably not a big surprise to the people of Seward, but a new study shows that coal dust is causing some major air pollution problems in that town. Alaska Community Action on Toxics released a report recently detailing a year's worth of air quality data. The samples were analyzed by 3 independent laboratories and showed unhealthy levels of pollution. A forensic laboratory tested the dust collected by the community monitoring devices and say it matched that from the coal loading facility. The environmental groups say coal dust in Seward or anywhere else in the state is a health hazard.
People living in Seward have been deeply concerned about the problems of coal dust, airborne dust in neighborhoods, around schools and in homes, and on boats in the Seward Harbor. And this does present a real health hazard, particularly to children, the elderly, and those with chronic illnesses.
We'll have more when the weekend's only televised newscast returns. Stay with us. In continuance of the Golden Day celebration, the annual Silver Tea and Flower Show was held yesterday afternoon at Pioneer Park. Our cameras were there and have the details in this report. Golden Days began as a way to honor Fairbanks' past. As many locals know, it all started with Felix Pedro, an Italian prospector who struck gold here on July 22, 1902. 112 years since then, and Fairbanks has bloomed. During the celebratory week of Golden Days, the Garden Club of Fairbanks joined the festivities and hosted their annual flower show.
This is the annual flower show sponsored by the Fairbanks Garden Club. And we always have it at the same time as the Pioneer Ladies Tea during Golden Day celebration. And we invite all the gardeners in the city of Fairbanks to enter their favorite flowers or plants. We'd like the community gardeners to participate. If they come and see our show, maybe they'll be inspired next year to cut some of their own flowers and enter them for competition.
After viewing the flower show, the public was invited to have tea with the Queen Regent from the Fairbanks Igloo No. 8. While the audience was sipping tea and enjoying the flowery aroma, the Pioneers of Alaska performed a historical skit. 10th year attendee Rita McGrath showed off her Golden Day spirit by dressing up.
I think the tea part, that's what I look forward to every year because we get to dress up in costume era clothing and get to show off the clothes from days gone by, and just I like the fact that that it's the local people, small knit community, and that we can just come together like this and be united with seeing old friends, you know, that we hadn't seen all year, and no snow on the ground.
This yearly event celebrates over 60 years of Fairbanks' rich history, and the week will wrap up with the traditional Golden Days Parade downtown Saturday. This is Katie Looper reporting. There was a lot of high-tech activity going on at an historic location this past week. GCI donated 10 tablets and a TV to the Children's Museum during an event at the Harding Park at Pioneer Park. It amounts to over $7,000 worth of products and services to the museum. During the event, a group of children learned about the history of Fairbanks. As a part of the donation, GCI will include service for the tablets, including monthly data packages. GCI officials say the Children's Museum is the type of operation they like to support.
We looked around and obviously there's a lot of different organizations, but the Children's Museum really fit a niche that we're trying to develop in supporting some of the smaller organizations, those up-and-comers, and they really do they represent some of the type of support that we would like to provide into the Fairbanks community.
There was a customer appreciation barbecue Thursday at Linden Transport on Pega Road. It's something they do every year, but this one was special as Linden celebrated its 60th anniversary. In 1954, Linden Transfer started the Alcan Highway service from Seattle to Alaska. When the devastating earthquake hit Alaska in 1964, the company responded with emergency deliveries of supplies and food. Linden Transfer became Linden Transport Incorporated in 1970. The company started service to Prudhoe Bay in 1974 as construction of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline got underway. In 1977, they expanded to Canada and Seattle. Since then, Linden has continued to expand and diversify.
First load came to Fairbanks, actually. It's a haul load of meat for cars. And it's grown from there. There's 17 different Linden companies now servicing the state of Alaska and virtually all modes of transportation.
Alaska's Tobacco Quit line has created electronic tools to help smokers beat their addiction. People who want to quit smoking can use Text to Quit and Web Coach to get tips and moral support. They're free programs and can be tailored to the individual. Subscribers will receive texts at various milestones, like how much money they've saved or how many hours they've added to their life since they quit smoking. The program coordinator says these services can be adjusted to fit someone's needs.
Something happens and they decide that they aren't ready to quit just yet, they can alter their quit date through the web coach or with their quit coach over the phone, and that'll be stored in their profile for Text to Quit to kind of tap into and kind of work around that new quit date.
People can enroll and receive free help at alaskaquitline.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Joe Cook is up next with sports with more on the WIO coverage, and local tennis player will represent the Interior in a national tournament. Stay with us.
Welcome back, Interior sports fans. Time for your weekend sports. Today marks the final day of the 2014 WIO Games. This morning, the bench reach event kicked off day 4. Nick Hansen repeated as the champion with a 47.25-inch reach, while Kyle Worrell was so close, but yet so far. But he would take second place, just reaching out. West Valley grad Denali Hodgson of Anvik won the women's division with a 32.75-inch reach as well. And the next final of the day was the head pull. Not as painful as the ear pull, but just as strenuous. Matthew Sido Evans won the men's title, pulling rookie Alec Bond from Naluto across the red line. That's Evans' third goal of the games, and Vanessa Tabone went undefeated in the women's bracket despite a wonderful effort from Mandy Sullivan, who had to win 4 straight to get to the final. Tabone waited for her sister Marjorie, another WIO competitor who had to catch a flight this morning.
Just dropped her off at the airport before this event. She really wanted to be here, and she's really disappointed that she wasn't, because she said, I should have took the next flight. She really wanted to see me. She's like, I know you could do it. You could go for gold. This is your time. Because I really wanted to do the ear pull yesterday, but that string was just pretty thick, and I just couldn't get the right positioning. So, well, this is it. I got the gold.
It was exciting. I mean, potential 3rd gold medal this summer. So, you know, I was getting close to it. So. A lot of adrenaline building up from that. Yeah.
And last night, more medals were earned in the WIO Games, including one in an event I certainly never seen before. But be warned, this is some graphic footage, so only age-appropriate viewers. WIO had the seal skinning contest last night, where contestants skin a seal with the fat on as fast as they can. Mary Cocoon from Shishmaref was this year's champion. I had a front row seat as she finished in 2 minutes, 26 seconds. WIO Chair Nicole Johnston explains the cultural aspect of what is considered a fun contest.
There's about 8 basic cuts. There's one down the center, one around the neck, one around each flipper, 2 around the back flippers, basically. Then they skin it with the fat still on the hide away from the meat. Normally, the native women who cut seals up, traditionally they are the ones that butcher the seals and prepare the oils and the meat off of the seal. The hunters go out and then they bring them home. This is just a demonstration to see how quickly, and everybody likes to see it. It's a lot of fun.
And in last night's athletic competition, some familiar faces added to their gold medal collections. Casey Ferguson won the 2-foot high kick event, successfully touching the hanging seal ball at 98 inches to claim gold. In the drop the bomb event, which is a test of endurance, Kyle Worrell went around the world, if you will, in a plank position, almost completing a full lap. That was his personal best in his 4th WIO Games and his first gold in that event. And Anchorage's Autumn Ridley continues to make her mark in this year's games. Repeating as 2-foot high kick champion, she won with a successful 76-inch kick. She owns the world record of 79 inches in that event. And later on, she won the women's blanket toss. Now, Marjorie Talbone, she tried to take a selfie while up in the rafters, but Ridley, she stuck all 3 landings and won the event with 117 points to cap off a thrilling night of events at WIO.
I did better in the blanket, and I was really happy about that, but I guess it's been a really good WIO so far. Yeah, it's been good.
What changed for me? My mentality. My mentality played a huge part of kicking as high as I did today. I was surprisingly relaxed today. I was thinking I was going to be tense, you know, and more nervous than anything, but I was relaxed. You know, it felt good.
And on Monday, a local tennis player will be representing West Valley High School and the Interior in the national tournament on the East Coast. Jarrett Lees, a junior at West Valley, will compete in the first ever New Balance High School Tennis Championships. It's a U.S. Tennis Association event, and it's in Boston at the Barron Tennis Center at Harvard University. He'll play in at least 4 matches. The winners get a wild card spot in the U.S. International Hardcourt Championships put on by the International Tennis Federation. Lees was selected after applying and will be among 64 tennis players aiming to make an impression on the college coaches that will be at the tournament. To prepare, Lees has received training from Jason Ringstad. Ringstad recently won the Midnight Sun tournament, but he is a former Wolfpack tennis coach and is the assistant coach for Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. Lee's finished second in the state last year after winning the MAC title. He's been in tournaments in the Pacific Northwest in Alaska's tennis offseason. The tournament starts Monday, July 21st and runs through the 25th. This morning near First Avenue, runners kicked off the Golden Days Parade. The Alyeska Golden Mile Run preceded the highly anticipated local parade. A number of runners strolled through downtown Fairbanks for the brisk mile run to start a nice Saturday morning in the Golden Heart City. The winner came in about 5 minutes and 52 seconds, but it was a friendly family atmosphere with kids running with their parents, even some costume bikers on the route. I think that's the Women on Wheels there. Proceeds from the run went to the Literacy Council of Alaska. And that's it for sports. Katie and I will introduce a new member to the KTVF family and the weekend broadcast. You'll meet him after the break and get a look at that weather forecast. Stay with us.
Welcome back, Alaska. I'm with Joe, and I want to know, how's your Golden Days week?
Going pretty well. Actually, I've been in WEO most of the week, so it's been great. You know, it's always a great cultural event, you know, athletics and just all the things, you know, the vendors, you know, just a lot going on.
So what would you say the craziest thing you've seen so far?
I have to say the ear pull event is always something that you just like, wow, you know what I mean? It's like they put themselves through a lot, but they really love doing it, so you can't help but cheer them on as well. So.
Gotcha. Well, let's take a look into our weather. It's going to be a normal high today, 73, and a normal low of 52. Our record high was 86 in 1990 and a record low at 36 in 1933. The sunrise and sunset equals 19 hours and 38 minutes of daylight, giving us a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. And around the state today, starting with the southeast, it's cloudy with temperatures in the low 60s. Anchorage and South Central are mostly cloudy with temperatures in the high 60s. For the west side of the state, there's fog in Bethel and cloudy skies for the rest of the west as well. Temperatures are ranging in the 50s, but moving up north, it's 38 in Barrow. Fort Yukon and Fairbanks interior area is partly cloudy in the mid-60s. Now let's go to our lower 48, starting on the southwest side of the states. It's sunny in Seattle at 78. For southwest California and Arizona region, it's in the low hundreds. Moving east, there's lightning storms in the deep south in Miami. However, the Chicago area is nice around the low 80s. And up the East Coast, rainstorms in New York. For our outlook for next week, it looks to be real hot and dry in the southwest. The strong heat is moving east and lots of moisture for the deep south. But back in Alaska, starting with the north slope, it's mostly cloudy with fog in Barrow and Nome, partly sunny with a chance of rain in Fort Yukon. Temperatures at 70 for Fort Yukon, however, it's a little bit chillier at 44 in Barrow. And moving down south into the interior, it's partly cloudy with isolated showers for the area. It's 72 in Fairbanks, 67 in Delta, and 69 in Healy. And as we go down to our southeast, it's patchy fog with a chance of rain showers in Juneau and Ketchikan, temperatures in the low 60s. And for our southwest side, mostly cloudy in Bethel, Kodiak, and Cold Bay with isolated rainstorms and patchy fog in Bethel. Again, temperatures in the 60s. And for our south central region, mostly cloudy with isolated rainstorms in the south central. And back in Alaska, in the Fairbanks, tonight's forecast is mostly cloudy with isolated showers at 48, and let's take a look at tomorrow. 72, however, mostly cloudy with isolated rainstorms. Shouldn't be too bad. And for a full week, it's low 70s in the beginning of the week. However, it's getting a little bit cooler, around 65, but at least without the rain, and mid-50s for our nightly temperatures. But that's it for our weather.
All right, now for our big reveal. We are joined now by Mr. Austin Buchanan. Austin will be taking over Saturday sports for you guys. I'll go back to my regular Monday through Friday routine. But Austin, welcome to the interior. Welcome to Fairbanks, man.
You know, she's telling those temperatures. I was kind of getting nervous because I'm from South Mississippi where it's a little bit hot, so it's going to be dropping. So I'm kind of nervous. I see 65. I'm like, oh boy, here we go, the winter. So.
Oh, this is nothing. You just wait.
Say anything yet. So how you liking it in Fairbanks so far?
Fairbanks, I love it. I wanted to give a plug to John Forcade, a former Saints quarterback. He's really took me under his wing, and a lot of people may remember him as I think he was a owner of a team. Not exactly sure what he did, but a lot of people he wanted to say his hello. But Fairbanks, real nice town, real small. Able to drive around, you can't get lost. You can go down the road, take a right, and then you're right back where you started. So I'm looking forward to being here in Fairbanks. It's going to be really interesting.
We look forward to having you here.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Most definitely. All right. Well, that's Mr. Buchanan. Like I said, you'll see him on Saturdays.
That'll wrap up this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt is coming up next.
Join us 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Well, from all of us here at the News Center, Austin, myself, Katie, have a good night.